Welcome to Gold Element Autoworks. If this is your first time viewing my channel, please enjoy. For those who follow me, continue to do so, please. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. This is a detailed explanation as to how my CL55 went from stock OEM to wide body. This is the CL55 when I first bought it. 2003, 493 horsepower, 5.4 liter V8 with a supercharged. This is an AMG. 5-speed automatic, 516 pound-foot torque. Very powerful car, very beautiful car. It needs no modification. In stock form, it is an awesome, beautiful, well put together vehicle. One of the best cars that Mercedes ever built. Yeah, Mercedes said they lost money building this car. A lot of new technology introduced into this car. From the shell to the interior, the materials are far exceeding 99% of cars that are built today. At the time of this car being built, it was well over $100,000. At this point, I installed 20-inch staggered AMG Mercedes wheels. Now, I know that the tire tread was low, but I was going to do some burnouts. I was going to enjoy this newfound horsepower, and maybe that wasn't the best decision. Why do I say that? Well, I never did a burnout before, and this is the result. Yep. I held onto the burnout too long, and for some reason, I didn't know how to use my brakes. I turned off traction control, and I went crazy and did this. Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. I literally cried when I did this. I didn't have this car for 30 days, and I did this to it. Now, it should have been totaled out. But come on, guys. This is me, Brandon Green. I'm not going to let this car go to the junkyard. So I decided to rebuild it. I did all the work myself. This was part of what needed to be replaced. A lot of stuff needed to be replaced. But I did the work myself in my garage, and I had it back on the road again. Now, at this point, I had to make the decision. Am I going to invest the money to return it back to stock OEM form, or should I do something different? At this point, I was happy to just get it put back together so that it's functional, but I had some decisions to make. This created a unique opportunity. And so what did I do? I ordered the wide body kit all the way from Poland. It came with the unique wide body styled front bumper, front hood, front splitter, side skirts, rear quarter panel, rear bumper, and spoiler. Now, this is fiberglass, so fiberglass is fragile. Obviously, in these pictures, you can see here that there was some damage. The hood had excessive damage. All the way from Poland, such a big, oversized, fragile package was not handled properly. Now, fortunately, the company that I ordered it from, they sent me a new hood. I appreciated that. They didn't have to do that. That was quite expensive on their part. So it came with all the pieces. Everything else was in pretty good shape. Yep, here we go. Removal of all the Mercedes stuff that's going to be replaced with the wide body kit. So I'm test fitting parts here. I'm test fitting the hood, the front bumper, and I'm realizing that things don't match up and line up the way that I expected. This is not going to be an easy retrofit for this wide body kit. It's going to be some heavy extreme modifications that are necessary. I even realized that the rear bumper is going to require a lot of extra work. It doesn't line up properly with the OEM exhaust system, and so I had to remove the AMG mufflers. I wasn't going to cut up the new wide body kit and take away from the design. Instead, I looked at it as an opportunity. I'll overcome this with a modification to the exhaust system. Later on, you'll see that I upgraded to Borla exhaust system. So as I said, things didn't fit as they were expected to fit. Even the side skirts were going to require a whole lot of modifications. So don't think that when you buy this kit that it's just going to be a simple replacement or a swap from the OEM parts to these parts. A lot of modifications required. Now you see here at this point, no turning back. I'm cutting the rear quarter panel in order to go wide in the back. I had to make clearance for the tires, for the wheels to go up and down. At this point, I was scared. At this point, there is no turning back. I am literally destroying my rear quarter panel. I was sweating bullets. Now, at this point, these are not rivets. These are screws. And I'm using here a panel adhesive that is actually often used by manufacturers at the factory when they're putting these panels together on cars. It becomes hard as steel. And so you use these screws to hold it in place for 48 hours as it hardens. And then those screws are removed. A lot of fiberglass filler was required in order to make all this happen. A lot of modification. Things just didn't line up as they should. Oh my goodness. So much work went into making this thing fit perfect. So much work. It was one problem after another. But I was optimistic. I knew that I could do it. I'm Brandon Green. Go Element Autoworks. Yeah, a job like this requires a lot of artistic ability. It's like sculpturing is what I compare it to. You have to have a vision. You have to see it through, all the way through. You have to be confident. When you think you're done, you're not done. That rear quarter panel had to line up perfectly and flush with the door. There was a lot of modification. The rear bumper and the quarter panel didn't even line up properly. So I had to do a whole lot of cutting and reshaping in order to make that work. The front end fit much better than the rear. But this is a fiberglass body kit, so there will be a lot of trimming and modification involved. Now, being that it's fiberglass, you're going to have a lot of issues. When you first get these kits, you have to leave it out in the sun. It has to reach a certain temperature, allowing the trapped gases to escape. You'll get a lot of pinholes, a lot of cracks. There's a lot of imperfections to fiberglass, and so that's why a lot of shops don't even want to mess with it. Oh yeah, before I got to this point, I considered having somebody else do it. The prices that they would charge in order to take on this project were through the roof. I knew that it was probably more important that I do this body kit, because if anything ever needs to be repaired, I can do it. You can see it's slowly coming together. The vision is coming together. You have to be confident when you put these cars together, these body kits together, because you're doing what most people will not do, what most shops are not even willing to do. Now you can see here that there's a lot of fiberglass filler involved. You see, I am blending fiberglass to aluminum. This car is consisting of several different materials. We're talking about magnesium, aluminum, polycarbonate, fiberglass. There's a lot of materials to this body, and I'm removing a lot of that, cutting into a lot of that, and I'm blending fiberglass into it. And it has to be a seamless, flowing design. The original Mercedes body lines are beautiful and not to be interrupted. And so me doing such a radical change to the body style, I didn't want to lose that Mercedes look. Again, when you think you're done, you're not done. I had to do a lot of this by hand. Yeah, I used an electrical sander, but a lot of this needs to be done by hand because you have to feel it. You use guide coats. You use different size sanding blocks. You use a keen eye. You use a leveler. There's so many things that you have to do in order to get this right. Now, once I put the black primer on it, other things began to show that you can't see with that light gray primer. This body kit comes primered, but that primer really just gives you something to sand down. It's not ready to go. Just because there's primer on it, it's not ready to go. A lot of work has gone into this car to get it to where it is today. But we're not there yet. So at this point, we have the manager's wheels installed. These were 3-piece, beautiful, lightweight alloy wheels with the chrome lip. This was a beautiful wheel. And I thought that this was the route that I was going to go, but it really was not as aggressive as I wanted it to be for the car. I needed an extreme wheel to bring out the beauty of this car, of this wide body kit. I did, though, swap out the suspension. Yeah, no more ABC, no more active body control suspension in favor of the yellow speed coilover racing. Adjustable coilovers. Why did I go that route? Why did I pull out a perfect ABC suspension in favor of a coilover? Well, because this is a wide body kit, fiberglass. If I had an ABC failure, well, it would destroy my body kit. If for any reason this ABC suspension failed, it would hit that fiberglass, crack it, and destroy it, and I would be starting all over again. So much work went into getting this hood together, the quarter panels together, the front, rear bumper, side skirts. So much work went into getting this thing together. I was not going to allow a suspension to ruin all the hard work that I put into this car. It was not the first coilover suspension I ever installed on these cars, so I was familiar with it and I knew what to expect. But I did that so that I can adjust it and never have to worry about getting back up under that suspension and doing maintenance or work ever again. This was a project that I wanted done right the first time. You can see here even my wheel wells were not perfectly round. A lot of work had to go back into it. A lot of refabrication had to go into this body kit. But I was making progress. I was at least able to drive the car. It's looking pretty good, huh? Even in primer, it looks pretty good. But like I said, imperfections and flaws started to come through that primer. That black primer revealed things that I didn't know were there. When you wash the car, the water will settle in these cracks, these hairline cracks that began to form. Wherever there was tension, maybe in the shipping process or just the natural flex, flexation, is that a word? Fiberglass flexes in the heat, it expands and the coating contracts. So cracks started to show through. Now, this is the boiler mufflers, and these are those oversized 5-inch tips that nobody liked. I mean, I liked them. A few people liked them, but a lot of people didn't. Now, you see the tape that is on the quarter panel? That's me trying to recreate that body line that flows from the front to the rear of your OEM CL500, 55, 600, 65, whatever. And so that took a lot of work. Now, here goes some more cracks. You see that? Goodness, man. They just come out of nowhere. No, not really. They were there. I just didn't see them. In the shipping process, there's a lot of cracks that develop, a lot of banging around. And when these body panels come out of the molding, I mean, they might look good, but fiberglass does what it does. And so you have to use certain materials. You have to use the paint with the flexors in it. You have to use the right primer. There's a lot that goes into this. Don't just think that, again, you're going to buy this body kit, attach it, paint it, and you're good to go. A lot of work. Here I go again trying to recreate that line. Oh, there's a lot of work. Now look at me putting on some gold wheels. These are the Rohana RFX5. What were they? 20 by 12, I think, in the back and 20 by 10 in the front. I wanted to go with an extreme wheel that drew a lot of attention. And I think I accomplished that. But let me tell you, not all attention is good attention. Now, some people loved them. Some people hated them. I like gold, obviously. I mean, look at the name of my company, Go Element Autoworks. Now, at some point, I did have a setback. I made a video during the process explaining what happened. You see here this damage on the hood. This was a result of a bad decision on my part, relying on somebody to do what they said they were going to do, and they didn't. Okay, I just want to let you all know that this is a wide body fiberglass kit for a Mercedes W215 CL55. It fits the CL500, CL65, CL600. It's fiberglass. That's the point I want to make. This has been a project for me for a year so far. Just kind of fabricating things, making it fit. A whole lot of modifications to make everything work. It's not just a bolt-on body kit. You're going to have to do a whole lot to make this thing work out for you. It's a whole lot of modification. Okay. All right. So this is my wide body kit. It came from Poland. I paid good money for a couple thousand. The story behind why I even chose to do a body kit is because I had a little accident, acting silly, getting excited about the 493 horsepower, and I did something stupid. So instead of putting it back factory, I decided to go ahead and just do a body kit. Let's see. So this is what I want to talk about real quick. This is an example after, oh man, I fixed so many cracks. This body kit came with so many hairline cracks. Let me turn this TV down, man. I'm in my garage watching YouTube videos on painting and body kit and all type of stuff, man. Just preparing my mind for what I'm getting myself into here. But I've been working on this for a year, okay? So this isn't really new to me anymore. And before I do the sealer, I already have things primed, but before I do the sealer, I'm going through and I'm finding more damage to the fiberglass. Now this occurs from it sitting, in like, you know, setting, I guess, or hardening. It expands with the heat, shrinks with the cold, and there's air bubbles inside of there. Once it gets hot, some of these air bubbles try to escape from the gel coat. When they lay the fiberglass, air gets trapped and it comes out. When you do sanding, you sand it out too deep, you start to expose a lot of imperfections. So you gotta be careful with that. Don't go too deep with it. But just because of what it is, the nature of fiberglass, it's fragile. It's whack, man, I'm telling you. If you go to body kit, go with polyurethane, and there's another one, I don't know. But it flexes way better. This stuff is brittle, it's fragile, it's stiff. I hate it, honestly. So, anyways, here goes some of the hairline cracks repaired. This is crazy. And that's only because this piece right here flexes. This is where the grill insert goes. And when you open and close the hood, you're typically grabbing it by this. You're trying to grab it where it's less tension, or you put less stress on it, but it's just the nature, it's just the design of the hood on these CLs. The factory one is aluminum, and you know, metal bends, whatever, no problem. Plus they put flexors in the paint, but regardless, metal doesn't crack, okay? Fiberglass does. So this is the folly of freaking fiberglass, which I hate. This is just one of 1,000 sets of cracks that I've repaired. So I used Evercoat. What is it? Polyester, polyester primer. Well, what is this crap called? I'm so stressed out now. I don't even know what it's called. Hold on.
This helps if you got a problem. Sometimes
that stuff.
Solve it on the fly. Don't
polyester, glazing, putty, Evercoat. Great stuff. You add the hardener to it, mix it up, whatever. It's great. Okay. That's what you want to use for fiberglass. That's just one example of something that you use for fiberglass. All right, I'm showing you these cracks just because I'm pissed off and I wanted to record it. But overall, man, I've got a lot of imperfections out of the hood. I mean, I've sanded this hood so many times, man. When that stuff comes from the factory, just know fiberglass is not ready to just bolt on and paint. Know that. Your mine came primer, but that don't mean crack. That's to give you something to sand down. That's good. That's cool, but just notice you just can't throw this thing on the car and get the spray and color on there. It's not gonna happen. So my goal at this point, man, is to get all the little fine little pinholes stuff up out of here, man, before I put this before I put the sealant on, and then the base and the clear. I'm going with the factory black. I've decided to do that. Going back to the AMG black. The top is not going to be, it's not going to be sprayed. I'm gonna mask all that off because it's in perfect condition. I'm just painting everything below the window all the way around. You see it over there hanging up, man. There go the fiberglass spoiler that it came with back behind the factory fenders. I'm not using that. If I want to put a spoiler on there, I can always add one later. I'm not going to destroy this, the trunk lid, because it's going to require bonding, sanding it down to the metal, putting the fiberglass adhesive stuff on there, body filler it in order for it to be smooth and transitional. I'm not doing all that. That's too much. If I want a spoiler, I can just 3M tape one on later. They offer them on eBay. They look pretty, pretty cool. I'm not going to destroy this lid. So yeah, so that's where it's at, man. I got some crazy live wheels. They're the Gold Rohanas, 20 by 11 in the back, but these are just the factory 20-inch AMGs that are on here for the time being until I'm done with the body work and painting and all that. Yeah, I did the pipe. Some people like it, some people don't. I don't give a crap. Because when the body kit is on there, it looks fantastic. With the video, it makes it stick out like a sore thumb. But once the kit is on there and at the right angle, it's perfect. So I love it. It's loud, Magnaflow exhaust. I'm sorry, Borla exhaust. It's pretty crazy. I love it. That's where I'm at. So this is the stage that I'm at with the Widebody CL55. Again, I got to do all this because I got screwed over. The guy who I had it at went to prison. Went to prison, man. Felonious assault. So my car was left outside, exposed to the elements for a couple weeks. And we all know that primer does not protect your vehicle from weather conditions. So I got screwed, okay? And I've had to do a whole lot of repairs because of that. I had got some rust on some parts up under the hood. The hinges on the hood got rust inside the fiberglass. Like some cracks formed, water got in there, and rust started showing through. Horrible. I had to repair that. I mean, it's crazy. But this is what I got to deal with sometimes, man. So that's why I took it upon myself to go ahead and paint it myself. That's where I'm at, man. Bump it. I do it myself. All right. You all take care. I will post another video once I make more progress. This is going to be my first paint job. Yeah, I got that cheap Harbor Freight to the left. I got the best one that they offer to the right. All right, so we're going to see what we can make shape. All right, we're going to make it happen. I'll be back in touch. Again, this is the Widebody CL55 project. Okay? Oh, yeah. You see my Yukon Denali down there, man? Looks crazy, don't it? Yeah, I did a bed liner paint job on that, and it's all like rugged out, like I'm about to go hunt some vampires or something. Anyways, all right, you all take care. I'll be back up to date with some. When I start making some progress, I'll be back in touch. I'm a little nervous. Pray for me. Yep, that's right. I decided to paint the car myself. Why? Because the person who was supposed to paint it for me went to prison. Somebody broke into his shop and he assaulted them with a rifle and he went to prison. So be careful who you decide to go into business with, I tell you. Golly. Crazy story. Anyways, I decided to do it myself. I mean, plus it worked out better because I was able to control every aspect of the process. I didn't have to worry or complain or have any issues with how somebody did or didn't do their work. I can only blame myself if I do it all myself. And I learn better by doing it myself. I trust myself more than I trust someone who I do not know when it comes to this vehicle. I seldom take this car anywhere to get work done. I do it myself. So why stop now? Yep. I put the gun in my hand and I got the spraying. The paint gun, that is. And so here we go. Moving forward with the process, I decided to do everything myself. And it was quite the learning experience. And now I know how to paint. You see, experience is one thing that you cannot teach. In order to get to this point where I was confident enough to paint it myself, I did a lot of research, a lot of forums, a lot of YouTube videos. I mean, there's too much free information out here for us to be ignorant. Take advantage of the opportunities that our parents and our grandparents didn't have. There's information at your fingertips. The very device that you're watching this video on, you can learn how to do almost anything. And so that's what I did. Some might say, and some did say, why would you paint this Mercedes yourself, man? Aren't you afraid that you're going to mess it up? This is a Mercedes, not a Honda Civic. But I don't limit myself to other people's expectations. I have my own expectations. I know myself better than others know me. I know what I'm capable of, and I was up for the challenge. And so I benefited in that way by learning and doing it myself. And so never allow someone to tell you what you can't do. You do it. And even if you fail or don't do as good of a job as you thought you might be able to do, you learned a lesson. You have experience now. And hopefully you don't give up. You keep doing it and you get better and better. And so that's what happened with this project. Came out pretty good, huh? Looks better with those wheels with that black, huh? With some clear coat on there, right? With some paint and clear coat. It's beautiful. I mean, it came out beautiful. Now, this is before I wet sanded it. It looks good from a distance, but up close, you can see some flaws. So I decided to go ahead and do the wet sanding process. I made sure to use enough base coat and clear in order to cut it and remove imperfections. I knew that that was key to a good result, to a nice, wet look. And so what did I use? Well, I use Wizards. Wizards has a great product line. It was recommended from the place where I bought my paint. And I was glad I went that direction. Wizards has some good product there. And so I used that. And this is at night when I was done. Couldn't wait to pull it out the next day so that I could see it in the daytime. Looks like a mirror, glass, wet. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful. Beautiful results. I love the way this car turned out. Now, at this time, I thought that the silver grille was okay, leaving the AMG, original grille in place. But there was some contrast there. I didn't really, looking back now, I don't really like it with the gold accents and the chrome trim. Yeah, no. But at the time, it's what it was. Eventually, I did change it to the nice black mesh grille. Looks way better, right? And so here you go. Now, the exhaust, yeah, you see that? Yeah, I pulled that 5-inch tip crap up off of there. Yeah, I went with the quad pipes black, much aggressive, much better look, way more aggressive. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Now, I kind of jumped ahead of myself. At some point, I did have these wheels on, and these are Vossens 20 by 10.5 all the way around. I think at this point, did I have the 5-inch tips? Yeah, I did. I sure did. I thought it looked okay. I thought it actually looked good. I even put those same wheels on my S550. I bought 2 sets. I love that look right there. That was a clean look. Nice chrome lip, a lightweight alloy wheel, a polished aluminum lip that was chrome-like. That was a nice looking wheel. That was a nice look. It went good with that grill. This is, of course, before I removed those tips. And then at some point, I switched it up. I went back and forth between the gold and these wheels. But then these wheels right here were the cream of the crop. Beautiful, beautiful wheels right here. Now, these were 20 by 12 in the rear, 20 by 10.5 in the front. This is an awesome wheel. Fond metal. German engineering wheel. This is a beautiful wheel. MB German engineering fond metal. That's probably one of my favorite looks right there. Clean, staggered. I love the 5-spoke pattern, the design, the concave look. I love it. This is probably one of my favorite looks right here. But I still miss that gold. Then I did this. Yep. Vossen 21 by 12 in the rear. Ugh. and 20 by 10.5 in the front. That filled the rear back in, the rear wheel well very well. It gave it a chunky, big boss look. It gave me enough gold where it accented the rest of the gold, but not too much. It's actually a bronze, a brushed bronze, but it's just gold enough where it's not too flashy, but it pops. It grabs the attention of onlookers. It's not doing too much. It doesn't look pimp like the other gold Rohana wheels. Looks classy, elegant, stylish, sporty, aggressive. I can go on and on. I love this look. I lightened up the gold accents, like on the front splitter and the little side things on the front bumper, and then the splitter in the rear. It goes perfectly with the true gold accents that I have, like on the hood and on the trunk and on the inside. Beautiful, beautiful, perfection. All right, let's get some of these sounds, man. I'm along this wall right here. I'm about to open it up. Here we go. Sound good to me. So there you have it. The wide-body CL55 AMG. MBH long tube headers, Eurocharge stage 2 tune, smaller pulley for the supercharger, resonator delete, cat delete, boiler exhaust, exterior modifications, obviously, interior mods, audio and video upgrades. What a powerful, beautiful, unique, one-of-a-kind vehicle. Thank you for watching. Please go to my website, www.goldelementautoworks.com. Please check out my latest content, products, services, and information. While you're there, buy some shirts and other products. Also, please continue to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for all the support and love that I receive. And if you have time, please go to my Instagram. That's Widebody CL55. I upload a lot of content there too. Thanks, guys.